apologies with a but. Excuses, reasons, and why that doesn't work for me, how it's made me feel, and how this has blocked conflict resolution. I'm Shaheen. I believe that we all learn through experience, both our own and the collective experience of others, and we all have something valuable to share and to give back so we can learn and grow. I'm not an expert, I'm not a relationship coach, I'm not a guru. I'm just a curious soul with a thirst for knowledge and adventure for life. And I'd like to share my journey, my struggles, my failures, my victories, and the lessons that I learned from those experiences. This is not intended as advice, nor am I claiming truth. So if anything resonates with you, take it, and if not, let it go. Have you ever been in a situation where you are getting an apology and it sounds something like this? I'm sorry, but. Or have you caught yourself being in a situation where you're needing to apologize and you say, I'm sorry, but. I'm going to talk about why, in my experience, what this feels like and why I'm sorry, but doesn't feel like an apology. And what does a real apology look like and feel like to me? What is wrong with this kind of apology? Using the but. In my experience, when I receive an apology, when someone says but and they list their reasons why, I don't feel heard, I don't feel seen, sometimes I feel belittled, or I feel like the person is just making excuses and they don't really want to look at what they actually did. I feel there's a lack of accountability in that, and often it frustrates me. And I feel I get either more unregulated or I just genuinely feel despondent and frustrated. And especially when it comes to someone that I love, that I really care about. How has this happened for me when I'm in the situation where I need to apologize and I use but? And how has this impacted my personal experiences and conflict resolution? The but kind of just cancels out the apology. It totally cancels out. It feels sometimes like it's defensiveness, it's a lack of accountability, it's projection even sometimes when they're giving reasons where sometimes it's turned around, I'm sorry, but you did this. And I feel like, whoa, I'm the one that's hurt or angry, and now it's flipped on me and it's made like it's my fault. And in the same time, when I've been in a situation when I've given, I'm sorry, but I've experienced the same thing, that it's this endless fight that keeps kind of going back and forth. What a real apology looks like to me and what I've learned in my experience is that I am sorry. And I'm going to share from what I've learned from having to, I'm going to call it the hot seat, when I'm the one needing to give the apology for something I did. Let's give an example. I raised my voice in an argument and I flipped out and maybe I was swearing. I'm sorry, but it's because you did this and you did this. It's a lack of accountability, because giving the reasons is because I didn't really want to maybe look at myself, and it didn't feel good that I was maybe hurting someone that I care about. And what I learned from really truly taking accountability was emotional regulation, coming to a space of, why do I genuinely want to foster repair and rebuild connection? Or do I want to be right and keep giving my valid reasons? Because of course my reasons feel valid, because it's the person did this, or I was late, or I was out of time, whatever the reasons don't really matter. So when I started learning to take accountability of, I'm sorry I did that, I was genuinely remorseful. When I raise my voice, I'm sorry, that was not right. I see how that hurtful, that was disrespectful, I should not have done that. My partner or my loved one actually felt seen and heard. I felt all this anxiety move out of my body, and I felt that deep sincerity of like, I want to repay. I don't want to do this to someone that I care about, and if I keep using reasons, it wasn't going to a place of repair. Taking accountability was really a growth in maturity of like, I don't want to be right, I genuinely want to foster repair. So I'm sorry I yelled at you, I'm sorry I raised my voice, I don't want to hurt you, that was wrong, I see how that made you feel. And then to follow up is, what can I do right now? What can I do to make this better right now? And on the flip side, the same. When I received an apology, when someone was like, Shaheen, I'm sorry, that I did this. I'm sorry I hurt you. I felt that my need to fight for my apology disappeared. And I didn't, when I jumped, I kind of got more out of this feeling of wanting to be right. And you hurt me, where I genuinely was like, I felt cared for. And that helped me let go of the anger, which I find is a secondary emotion. Actually, I was hurt and I could really experience the hurt, and the anger dissipated. And that was a beautiful way to kind of dissipate the situation. And when I felt seen and coming down from the anger to more experiencing the hurt, and when I felt seen and the accountability was taken, I was in a better place to foster connection and repair. So, challenge for you. It's going to take a lot of self-awareness. And I just want to say, from my journey, this is a practice, and I've made so many mistakes. I'm going to continue to make mistakes. But the self-awareness is step one. So the next time you find yourself in a situation where you need to apologize, fight that urge to have the reasons, because those reasons feel really valid in those moments, whatever there is, because the person did something, or because they said something, or whatever they are. They feel so, so valid. Fight that urge to be right and to be validated, and take accountability. For the example that I use, I'm sorry I raised my voice. I'm sorry. See how that made the other person feel. Empathy. I'm sorry that see how this made you feel like that, and I'm sorry that I made you feel that way. What can I do to repair this? And also just observe that if you are in a situation where you are receiving an apology, someone is saying, I'm sorry, but how does that make you feel? How do you feel when you receive an apology like that? Reflect that. And if that doesn't make you feel good, or you don't feel heard when you get an I'm sorry, but, high chance that when you are doing that to someone else, they are feeling the same thing. So just know it is a practice, and it gets better with time.